Hello Year 4 and welcome to week 16 lesson 3 of mathematics for your remote learning. I'm Mr. Goddard and I'll be taking you through this lesson. So let's get started. First up we have some quick maths. So try and do these sums as quickly as you can. You want to pause the recording now, and on the next slide I will have the answers for you. Well done, I bet you tried really hard and got them done very quickly. Here are the answers to the questions. So quickly, mark them down, see how well you did. Hopefully you got them all right. Good job. Okay, now on to our main problems. We are going to be looking at Venn diagrams and Carroll diagrams today. First up, we have a Venn diagram, a three-circle Venn diagram, and that makes things a little bit trickier. So on the question, we have a table of data that has a list of children's names, and then it tells us whether or not they have any pets, what colour jumper they have, and also the colour of their hair. Now, very helpfully, the Venn diagram that you've been provided has also been given the labels for each circle. So I'll quickly add them in. So this circle here has a pet. This circle here is a blue jumper, and this circle down here is blonde hair. And what the question is asking you to do is it's asking you to put each child's name, so you've got Eli, Dara, Kaylee, Poppy, Claudia and Lowry, with it's asking you to put a name somewhere on the Venn diagram in the correct space. Now, something to always remember is sometimes there might be a person who doesn't belong in any of the circles at all, so you've got to keep an eye out for when you actually do this properly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at Eli, and I'm lucky because I can do this on a computer, so I can just type his name in like that, and I can move him around a little bit. So here I have Eli. Now the first thing we're going to look at is this first column on the data. It says, does he have any pets? And it says for Eli that yes, he does. So I know that Eli is going to be somewhere over this side of the diagram because I know that he has to be in the has a pet circle. Then I have to look at the colour of his jumper, and it says here that he has a red jumper. So I know that he's not going to be anywhere in this circle here because he doesn't have a blue jumper, he has a red one. Finally I look at the colour of his hair, which is black, and I know that my final circle here is that blonde hair, so Eli shouldn't be in this circle either. So he ends up in here, just in this circle, in this section here, which shows that he has a pet, but he doesn't have a blue jumper and he doesn't have blonde hair. Now, give this a go, pause the recording, try and put each child, so you've got 5 more children to place into the Venn diagram, and remember there might be a tricky one that sits outside. So pause the recording now. Okay, now what it's asking us to do is to use a Carroll diagram, and again the remote learning shows us an example of a Carroll diagram, very similar to a Venn diagram, but you don't have more than 2 categories on the top and you don't have more than 2 categories on the bottom, because otherwise things get very hectic unless they're all related. So this is the way your Carroll diagram should look when we're working on here. So we don't have to look at the colour of the hair of the children when we're working on this particular one. So we can scribble that out for now. And again, we're going to look at our friend Eli. So Eli, we already know that he has pets and he has a red jumper. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the pets column. Yes, he has pets. So we look here, we know that this row here for children that have pets, and this row here for children that don't have pets. So we know that Eli is going to be either in this box or in this box. Then we have to look at the categories at the top here for the columns. This column says blue jumper. This column says no blue jumper. Eli has a red jumper, so he will go in the no blue jumper column. So he'll be in the pets row, no blue jumper column. So Eli will go here. Pause the recording and try and fill in your Carroll diagram now for the rest of the children using the data on the table. Well done, you've done really well so far. So we've used a table of data to fill in a Venn diagram, use that same table to then fill in a Carroll diagram, and now what we're going to do is we are going to take the data from a Venn diagram and put it into a table. So what you're going to want to do is make sure that just like our table beforehand, you're going to write the children's names in the left hand column. So I'm going to have my good friend Eli in here, and I'll pick someone else. Let's do Reese. And again, what we'd expect you to do here is fill in the table all the way down, so you're going to need lots and lots of rows. Then we need to look at the categories. So our categories are likes pizza, and let's be honest, it's crazy, some of them don't like pizza, brown hair, or has a little sister. Now for me, Mr. Goddard, I like pizza, I've got brown hair, and I've got a little sister. So Mr. Goddard, I'm just going to put here little Mr. G. There he is, right in the middle, because I like pizza, definitely. Like everybody who's ever been in one of my classes knows that it is the best food ever, or at least that's what I think. Now what we need to do is we need to carry on creating our table. So first of all, we need to make sure each category goes at the top of each column. So we're going to put likes pizza. In fact, I'm going to type this because my handwriting using a mouse isn't very good. So we're going to put likes pizza in this column, and we're going to put brown hair in this column, and then we're going to put little sister in this column. And you can either write yes or no, or you can write a tick or a cross. It's up to you. So I'm just going to quickly do Eli and Reese. So Eli likes pizza, he does not have brown hair, and he does not have a little sister. Reese doesn't like pizza, doesn't have brown hair, and doesn't have a little sister. So you could have done that, or I could have said yes, no, no, and so on. Now, when you're creating your table, it's really, really important when creating tables of data to make it clear and easy to read. It's one of the most important things, having the presentation. Obviously having accurate data is very important, but you have to make sure that the table is very clear and easy to read, otherwise people won't be able to use the data. So when you are creating your tables, I think it would be really good if you could use a ruler and a pencil and do it very carefully and very slowly, and if possible, if you have some, use some squared paper or some lined paper if you don't have squared. Either will work, or if any of you have anything fancy like graph paper, that's very effective too. But definitely try and use paper for that will allow you to draw straight lines as much as possible. And we have finished. Well done. Good job everybody. Hopefully you've enjoyed the maths and you've learned something through it, and you've remembered how to use the Carroll diagram, the tricky 3-category Venn diagram, and also you created a beautiful table of data, really neatly drawn and carefully filled out. Really good job everybody. Well done, and see you soon for the next maths lesson.